Hi, and welcome to the lesson on telling time in English. Let's review the worksheet on what's the time. First, let's review how to say each of the numbers. 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and back to 12. Now, let's review. This says o'clock, 12 o'clock, or the minute hand is pointing at 12 and the hour hand is pointing at 2. This means that it is 2 o'clock. If the minute hand was pointing at 1, you could say it is 5 past the hour. If it's pointing at this, you could say it's 10 past the hour. If it's pointing at 3, it's a quarter past the hour. If the minute hand is pointing at 4, it's 20 past the hour. If the minute hand is pointing at 25 or 5, it's 25 past the hour. If the minute hand is pointing at 6, then it is half past the hour. If the minute hand is pointing at 7, it's 25 to. This means that it would be 25 minutes until the next hour. Now, if it's at 8 p.m. or 8, then it would be 22 the next hour. So it would be 20 minutes until the next hour. If it's pointing at 9, that would mean it's a quarter to, or 15 minutes until the next hour. If it's pointing at 10, this would mean it is 10 to, or 10 minutes until the next hour. If it's pointing at 11, that means it is 5 to, or 5 minutes until the next hour. When we say morning time, that would be between 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. That would be considered in the morning. When it is 12 p.m. to 6 p.m., that would be considered the afternoon. If it is 6 p.m. to 12 a.m., that would be considered the evening. Now, let's look at the reference on a.m., which is morning, and p.m., which is evening. Most commonly in the United States, we just use this style of clock. However, sometimes you might see a clock with this style. So let's go through the most common option first. If it is in the morning, you would say this is 12 a.m. This would be where 12 a.m., 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., and then at 12, then it would switch to the afternoon or p.m. Once we go around the clock this next time, let's pretend it is p.m. So then we would say it is 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and 11 p.m. And then the cycle begins again. All right, now let's look at this type of clock. In this type of clock, you would say 12 p.m., 13 p.m., 14 or 1400, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and this would represent 12 or 24. Okay, so let's review one more time. This right here means that it is 2 o'clock. The minute hand is pointing at 12, so it is 2 o'clock. If the hour hand was pointing at 3, then you would say it's 3 o'clock. If it was pointing at 4, you would say it's 4 o'clock. Again, if it was pointing at 5, then you would say it's 5 o'clock. If it's pointing at 6, you would say 6 o'clock. If it's pointing at 7, you would say 7 o'clock. If it's pointing at 8, you would say 8 o'clock. If it's pointing at 9, you would say 9 o'clock. If it's pointing at 10, you would say 10 o'clock. And if it's pointing at 11, you would say 11 o'clock. All right, so that's when it is the beginning of the hour. So let's think about this a different way. So this is 5 past. So let's say it is 5 past 2. That just means that it is 5 minutes past 2 or 2:05. Let's say that the minute hand is pointing at 10. You could say it is 10 past 2 or 2:10. If it's pointing at 3, the minute hand, if it's pointing at 3, then you could say it is a quarter past 2 or it is 2:15. If it's pointing at 4, if the minute hand is pointing at 4, then that would mean that it is 20 past 2 or 2:20 p.m. or 2:20 a.m. If the minute hand is pointing at 5, that means it is 25 past the hour, which we're using 2 as the hour. So it'd be 25 past 2, or you could say 2:25. If the minute hand is pointing at 6, this would mean that it is half past the hour, or it would be 2:30. 2:30. Once we get to this section, we start counting down to when the next hour begins. So we would say it is 25 to the next hour. If the hour is 2 p.m., the following hour would be 3 p.m. So we would read this as 25 to 3. 20 to 3 p.m., a quarter to 3, 10 to 3, or 5 to 3. You could also read this as 2:35, 2:40, 2:45, 2:50, or 2:55. So that means that there are 5 minutes too. So one more quick review. A clock means exactly the hour. 5 past, 10 past, a quarter past, 20 past, 25 past, half past, 25 to, 22, a quarter to, 10 to, 5 to, and the cycle begins again. 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. is morning. 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. is in the afternoon, and 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. is in the evening. This clock right here is the most common that we use in the United States, but it's also important for you to know how to read this style clock. I hope you found this lesson helpful and that you stay tuned for more lessons with Jessica.